met Sam when I was in Florida on vacation with my ex-boyfriend, and he was the first person I matched with on Tinder.
So I met Matthew when we were on deployment. We were in the same company, and so we were always like around each other. And then one day we started hanging out, and we were friends. And then after that, just things kind of went from one thing to another.
I met my boyfriend in a language training class. We were in class together for about 6 months before we started dating. We've had a lot of times where we've been apart for long periods of time, so social media has allowed us to still keep in touch despite a longer distance between us.
Social media was kind of like iffy with us, so I would always like post pictures of him, and like he rarely had any pictures of me, which was fine because like I understood, and he would say that like he just would never really be on social media, but like I would always constantly see him on there, and like when I asked him why he didn't put pictures of me up there, he was just like, oh, it's like I don't want people knowing about my life and whatnot.
I think social media has positively influenced my relationship. We use social media to interact with each other every day, or if we don't get to see each other in person that day, and we send each other memes and play Pokemon Go.
If it was up to Sam, we would talk on social media all the time, but I hate social media, so we talk in person more than anything, and if I need him, I will call him. We really even text, so.
My boyfriend and I use Snapchat a lot to talk to each other during the day or while one of us is away from the other.
So it was a long distance relationship, and he lived about 4 hours away. So we were on social media, like constantly talking to each other. That was like one of the forms of us talking. We would Snapchat, we would sometimes video chat, but I mean, at least texting was pretty frequent.
So Sam and I have had quite a few issues involving social media. He works on his phone, so he does a lot of photography, and so he'll be editing on his phone, and he will be doing a lot of advertising on his phone, but he gets caught up doing social media way too often, and he'll be on social media getting caught in some videos or just like scrolling through Instagram for no reason when we're supposed to be hanging out, because we don't have a lot of time, because I work full-time, he works full-time, and I go to school full-time, so we don't have a lot of time to hang out. And when we do and he's on his phone, it makes me so angry. So we've had a lot of conversations about that, and then we have also had issues where he will post, or I feel like we've had a lot of issues about posting things that aren't really authentic to us, trying to show face and put on the show for people even when we're not doing the best or whatever, because that's what social media is. It's a different personality. It's a show for other people, and that's not how I am. I'm authentic. I try to be as authentic as I can, even on social media. So
I think the only arguments that we've had involving social media is because we use Snapchat so much. It's really easy to see when the last person replied. And so longer distance trying to talk to each other or figure something out, it can be hard to keep track of when we've talked to each other and whether or not we've gone over something that we need to talk about.
We haven't had any issues over social media. I think because we talk to each other, we see each other like 3 to 4 times a week in person, so if we had an issue or a concern, we would probably bring it up then, when we can see each other's face and really explain how we're feeling. So I think that's why we haven't really had any issues over social media.
So we've also had issues on social media where the way that he talks with other people and with clients who are also his friends gets sometimes what comes off to me as flirty. And so the way that he talks to people is, in my eyes, inappropriate in some cases. And so I've definitely snooped through his phone, snooped through his Instagram, all of his DMs, because you know how we are. And I just have a conversation with him. Usually it starts out with like, what is this? Why did this happen? But we have a dialogue about it. That's how we resolve all of our issues. We don't really fight a whole lot, but we have discussions and dialogues about why it happened and why it made me angry. And we use, if anybody's seen Brene Brown and her TED Talks on vulnerability, they're super helpful, and they've helped us get through a lot of our issues because it helps us talk about our issues and how we're feeling. So we always use the saying, so the story I'm telling myself is, and then say, and that helps us explain how we're feeling, even though the other person has a different story.
We've had to talk a lot about talking to each other, I think, is the main thing that we've had to talk about. So when we have been closer together, been able to talk about, hey, I want to talk to you more, or, reply to you more often.